Did you click go live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Good morning, guys. We are back at it.
Yes, we are.
Dorothy's here with us physically for the time being.
Just have a task to do.
One.
I'm making sure. Oh, are we like on the home page?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good?
Yep.
Okay. I just had to check to make sure that we're on the right page because sometimes we post these on the wrong page.
It happens. So we're going live right here on Facebook. Chantel is tuned in. Chantel, you are
Chantel.
awesome.
Chantel was our winner of our CTP challenge. We had a 21-day challenge. It just ended last week. And Chantel won our big grand prize. And it was a night stay in the mountains. So
One night stay.
One night stay.
Can you squish in just
what did
a bit?
I say?
A night stay.
A night? One night?
Can you
Isn't
squish
that
in
the
just
same?
a bit for Instagram? There.
Oh, hi Instagram.
They're not on yet.
Oh, we're not live yet.
Going live on Instagram.
That was the practice one. There we go. Hi Instagram. Now you're not in it, Drew.
Good.
There we are.
Man, it's tough to get these cameras. We need like a full-time producer.
You would think, look at how like funny I look.
You don't have to squish in there.
All right. Today we're talking about meal planning. Woo. It's kind of what? What?
Woo!
Woo!
Jordan jumped in here. What's up, Jordan?
Hey, Jordan. So, big topic, and we only have a little bit of time.
We got 30 minutes. We'll be here with you.
We'll be with you here for 30 minutes. So, if you guys have questions about meal planning, feel free to write in, and we'll answer those questions right now for you. What's a good place to start at with meal planning, Drew?
I think usually the best place to start is at the beginning of things. Meal planning. Okay.
Maybe I'll just leave. You can do this by yourself.
Don't get me excited.
Oh, okay. No, that's when you have to do. Oh boy, one of these.
What's that? Jordan said, "Nice mohawk." Oh, this one here. Nice mohawk. Thanks, Jordan. I'm loving the blue. The blue is back. The blue is back.
He's rocking the blue.
I was green for a bit there with St. Patty's Day, but I'm back with blue, and it feels more like home.
It feels more like home.
I like the color of blue.
Yeah.
Goes with more things.
It does.
And I like Sonic the Hedgehog. That's how it makes me feel a bit. You guys see my flip? If you didn't see my front flip, Jordan, you saw it. Check it out on Instagram. It reminds me of like Sonic the Hedgehog. Dorothy has no idea who that is, do you?
No, that is untrue. I played Sega for like 10 seconds. I don't know why. I wasn't much of a video game, and I'm still not a game, like virtual video game kind of person. I used to try a bit, but never really got into it. Like Nintendo, Sega. I'm aging myself here because now I don't even know them. I was like calling the the PlayStation and Xbox, and oh boy, I don't know them all.
Anywho, so when it comes to meal planning, I think where we could start is the benefits of meal planning. So
that's a good spot.
For us, when we work with like customers or clients or people that just come to us and they're like, we're struggling with meal planning, what can we do? And it's not like, so it's, I suppose it's understanding that when you create meal plans, you reduce a whole lot of stress in your life. Mm-hmm. And it's like anything that you plan in your life. So usually we have schedules. I put up a post on on the True Form page where most of you are watching here on Facebook. If you're not watching on Facebook, that would be at facebook.com/trueformlife, Instagrammers. And I asked if you're a paper planner or a electronic planner, and that got over 100 comments just talking about most people said they're paper.
Yeah, paper's way easier to me. That's my style.
Well, I bet 90% of people say paper. So, and I'm always like trying to get ahead of the times and trying to go electronic, and it's so challenging. I do like the reminders, but I think there's a lot to actually writing.
Yeah, and I think it just for me, like personally, it just organizes better in my brain when it's on paper. I don't know why. Yeah. And you can physically erase something. I like that too. You take your eraser and erase it and put something else in.
So what I was saying is when it comes to planning, like we plan our work schedules. We plan the projects that we need to get done. at work.
Yeah.
And then we plan our schedules. We plan our weekends for kids' sports. We plan our own type of getaways. But when it comes to meal planning, for some reason, we don't plan it.
Yes.
And so I think when it comes to planning in general, if we can understand that how much stress reduction there will be in our lives around actually sitting down to plan, it'll make your whole life that much easier.
Yeah. It's such a crucial step to your success in living a healthy lifestyle. And it will just give you so much more benefits because, and like Drew said, the stress that is lifted off of you is amazing. So I think where the difficulty comes from is actually setting that time aside to do it. So it's like we always tell our members, it's like setting an appointment with yourself to sit down and meal plan. And of course, in our monthly membership, we do the meal planning for you. That's one of the benefits of being in the membership is we do that for you. But having a meal plan just on itself, whether you've created it or somebody else has created it for you, it just reduces that stress. In once you have the plan, you just put the plan into action. But making the time to sit down and do it, it's like an appointment with yourself. We make hair appointments to get our haircuts. We make dentist appointments. We make all different appointments that we stick to. But when it comes to making an appointment with ourselves, we don't honor that for ourselves usually.
Cancel on ourselves all the time. Good morning, Louise.
Morning, Louise.
Thanks for tuning in. Louise is part of our monthly membership, and she would understand the benefits of having someone plan for you like a professional.
Yeah.
In this video, we want to explain how you can meal plan yourself.
Yes.
And I think what Dorothy was just talking about is making that time for yourself and understanding that is your time. It's your time to prepare and set up your whole week for success. Mm-hmm. So when we talk to clients and we say, why didn't this week go so well maybe? And then they say, well, I didn't plan. And 98% of the time when it comes to nutrition, that's exactly what it comes down to, is that you didn't plan ahead. And again, if you don't have someone doing it for you, you really need to sit down and set that schedule up for yourself. And then you have your whole week set up for success, and you don't have to worry about, like, I think the kids, it's stressful when the kids are like, Mom or Dad,
I'm hungry.
What's for dinner? And they're like, I don't know.
And you have like this window of time before hungry turns into hangry, and then hangry turns into meltdown. And then you can't, like, once you're in meltdown mode, you can't go back.
There's no turning back. It's happening
right now, right? So we want to avoid that stress for you because it's so stressful. You've had a full day of work usually. You come home and people are counting on you for a meal to feed them, and that's a lot.
It's stressful. And if you don't know, like, you had a long work day, or you're running the kids around to different sports, or maybe you're stressed out yourself from work or whatever's going on with your family. And then you're like, I don't know what's for dinner. I didn't go to the grocery store. I don't know what a grocery list is or how to prepare one. And you're just rushing around, and you feel like you're always behind. So we want to release that stress. Chantel said it's nice not to be asked, or not.
It's nice to not ask or be asked what's for dinner because you have a plan.
Yeah. And Chantel got a chance to see what that's like in our 21-day CTP group challenge.
Yes.
That we had not too long ago.
Yes.
So thanks, Chantel.
So if you're making a meal plan yourself at home, there's a few steps that will make it a lot easier for you because there's a lot of tasks that can be a little daunting. So we always suggest to break it up into little smaller chunks. So the first day, we always suggest on a Friday is a good planning day. And then, because you usually have the weekend off. So then if it's a Friday night after work, or even if it's, during the day on Friday, whatever time you schedule for yourself, a planning day. So make sure you schedule a chunk of time, about an hour, to actually make your meal plan. So we always suggest to do that, and we'll get into more details on how to create your own meal plan in a second. But first you need to actually set aside a chunk of time to create the meal plan. And that's usually done, we suggest, on a Friday.
Step number one. Create the meal plan. Or no, set some time away to create the meal plan.
Yes, and we'll get into how to create the meal plan in a second. But step number 2, after you've created the meal plan, is to set another chunk of time aside, another appointment with yourself, to get the groceries that you need. And we suggest that on a Saturday. And then
That's step number 2.
Then step number 3 is to schedule a prep day with yourself. So you're going to need about an hour each day. So Friday, schedule an hour with yourself to create the meal plan. Then on Saturday, set about an hour aside to get your groceries. And then on Sunday, set about an hour, sometimes 2 hours aside to do your meal prep. Now, it might seem like a lot of hours, right, to set aside, but think about all the hours you're going to be saving throughout the week because you have the plan. So you're actually putting in the time now so that everything goes smoothly later on in the week.
It'll actually save you time.
It will.
We had a few people jump in here. Cindy on Instagram said good morning. We have Ginny on Instagram as well. If you're watching, we see that quite a few people are tuned in here. It seems to be a hot topic. If you are watching, let us know so we can say hi and so we know who's doing it in here.
Yes.
So it will, like when we say an hour, like an hour of the day, it's not really a long time. It sounds like a long time. But if you take, let's say Dorothy just said 3 hours. 3 hours for the week to prepare or write out your meal plan, to go grocery shopping maybe, and then prepare your food. 3 hours out of the entire week, and you've set yourself up for success. Mm-hmm. And that's all it takes. And sometimes like we're here on a Sunday and we're meal planning, and I'm thinking, maybe we're baking extra, we have something in the crock pot, whatever it is, and it takes a couple hours, and I'm like, I feel so relieved throughout the week. I'm like, oh my gosh, now I don't have to worry about food for the rest of the week. We don't have to worry about snacks from baking or granola. We don't have to worry about breakfast. Yeah. And everything's done. Like we know exactly what's going on through the week, and it's so important, especially if you have a busy week, because we know what it's like running from appointment to appointment or meeting to a meeting.
Crazy.
And you don't have that time to make the meal plan. So that's why we go to the drive-thru. And that's why we go to the pantry and have popcorn or chips for dinner or crackers and hummus.
Who would do that?
Crackers and hummus. Like we've been there. Like we've all been there. Dorothy and I have been there. That's why we know the importance of meal planning. That's why we plan for ourselves. And that's why we offer it as a service to our members, because we know how important it is.
Mm-hmm. So if you're new to meal planning, you've never done it before, the best place to start when creating your meal plan is supper, because that is generally the biggest meal of the day, and usually the most stressful meal of the day, because it's when everybody is looking at you with that big question, what's for dinner? So if you're just starting, instead of trying to plan out every meal, every day, just start with your supper meals. Just plan out supper. Just start there. So plan out your 7 meals for supper for a week. And then later on, once you get comfortable with just planning supper, you can add breakfast. Then you can add lunch.
And is that the supper before the grocery list?
What do you mean?
So when you sit down and say, I want to have, like, I'm going to start my meal plan, start writing it out. Do you start with writing supper down, or do you say, these are the groceries I need? Like, do you say, what comes first, the grocery list or the supper?
The suppers. So if you're planning on a Friday for the week, your meals aren't going to start till the Monday. So you're actually planning Friday for Monday to Sunday. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're just going to plan out 7 meals. And sometimes people get stressed out about the ideas for the meals, but it doesn't have to be big, gourmet, gigantic meals. It can be simple, easy to make meals. And we have tons of recipes and things on our website as well. So if you go to our website,
trueformlife.com,
and click on our recipe tabs, we have all kinds of different recipes in there that are quick and easy to make. But a staple that I always use myself when creating meal plans is to have different kind of categories. So we have a salad night, usually like a big monster salad. Again, that monster salad recipes on trueformlife.com under recipes. We have a soup night, so we'll make a soup. And again, we have some great soup recipes online, so go check out our recipe tab. And then so a salad night, a soup night. We have a casserole night usually, so a shepherd's pie or a tuna casserole. And then stir fry night. We always have a stir fry night. So right there, that's 4, just in those categories. And stir fry doesn't have to be the same. Like are just categories. You can have many different salads. You can have many different soups, many different casseroles.
So you can have soup at the beginning of the week, for example, if it's in the winter, if it's cold out. It's a more of the opportunity to have a soup-like substance. So you could have a soup on a Monday. That's going to translate to lunch on Tuesday, but Dorothy's going to explain in a second. But then you can have that again on Friday. So Friday you have a different type of soup, just for an example. And then you can have that lunch again on Saturday, but we'll get into that here.
Yeah, and then your stir fry, you can make it different every time by just switching up your vegetables. Now, we have veggie stir fries all the time, but you can add some meat to it. You could add chicken one week. You could add shrimp the next week. You can switch it up all the time. So just by using those 4 categories, you only have 3 meals left to plan for. And then we usually suggest to plan like one of those easy to make meals. So like, for example, a chicken, a veggie, and a carb. So a quinoa, a rice, a veggie, and a chicken. Like that's an easy to prepare meal. And then another easy to prepare meal is fish, right? A salmon, a quinoa, for example, or another carb like rice, and a veggie. Those are nice and easy to prepare meals.
So when it comes to preparing your dinner meals, we want to have all the 4 macronutrient food groups different from maybe the Canadian food guy that you'd be used to. So for a well-balanced meal, you want to have the 4 groups so that we have protein, fats, carbs, antioxidants / fiber, the one that everyone forgets about. So that's what you want to have. So let's say, for example, you have your fish and you have your protein. What do we have for a carb?
Usually a quinoa or a rice.
Yeah, quinoa rice for a carb.
Brown rice.
And then so we have our protein. We have our protein. We have our carbs. So fat. There's actually lots. If you're having a fish, for example, there's lots of fats.
Healthy fats. Yeah.
You can probably put
Get scared by the word fats.
You can put. Let's say, for example, you have a little side salad. So you can throw an avocado in there. You can throw in hemp seeds. So that there's your fiber antioxidant category. You throw a bit more hemp seeds on there or avocado for your fat. So you have all your macronutrients in that tiny meal. So you have a little side salad. You have fish and quinoa. And that's it. Like that's how easy it can be. So that's a well-balanced meal for dinner.
Yeah. So then from there, you have your 7 meals planned out for the week. From there, you make the grocery list for what you need from those meals. All right. So that when you go to the grocery store, you're buying exactly what you need to make your meals. And then you eat what you have. So that's going to save you money. Because a lot of times we wander around the grocery store just like putting stuff in our cart. And then we get home and we don't know what to do with it because we don't have a plan. So it sits in the fridge and sometimes it goes bad. Well, a lot of times we hear all the time that people just, food goes bad, so they have to get rid of it.
Yeah, Cindy said, I've been meal planning on Sundays for years, or grocery shopping, I think. She said it's so important. And we've been working with Cindy for a long time, and she knows what we're talking about here. We don't have a ton of time, Dorothy, as much as we usually do. I want to pull up some screenshots here of what a meal plan that Dorothy creates looks like. So Dorothy's been doing this in our monthly membership for years now. I did start it, thank you. But Dorothy's taken over. She does a fantastic job, and she's a professional. She does these incredibly.
Oh, wow.
And
Just took my horn.
And I want to show you what they look like. Yes, you can.
No, you tooted my horn.
Okay.
Does it work like that, or can you only toot your own horn?
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Oh, what happened to that?
Click on it. There we go.
Okay. So this is what this is the opening package. I want to take you through a few slides. So if you look at this, it says 21-day CTP challenge. This is one she did for our private group not too long ago, just last week. And this would be a title page. So it has a few different pictures and says, this is the title. This is what it's going to look like to get into it. From there, it's quite in depth. This is not something that you have to do, but this is something that
your meal plan can just be a scrap piece of paper, right? With your ideas on it. It doesn't have to be this intense.
Right. So here is just say we have feature meals. So Dorothy features a few meals each week, and she says these are the meals that we're going to feature. So she adds some descriptions about them. Like right here, you can see veggie wrap. So that's why those of you on Instagram, you're not going to be able to see this. We're actually pulling up slides. So if you want to, you can head over to facebook.com/trueformlife. So this one right here, the second slide, Dorothy usually features a few meals and explains them more in depth. And then our third one here, and then Dorothy goes through notes. Do you want to go over that?
So in the note section is all the links you'll need to recipes. So included in our meal plans, we put in the recipes for you. So all you have to do is click on the link and it takes you right to the recipe. So you don't have to go directly to our website to find the recipes. They're all there for you.
And this comes together in one package. So you can see here, monster salad recipe that we just talked about. You click here. Super easy. Cinnamon breakfast. Where's the recipe? Right here. So that's, I suppose, just offering convenience. This, oh boy, get out of here. And then prep. So each week, Dorothy talks about how you prep your meals. So if you have your baked zucchini bread or baked or if you make bruschetta,
Don't bake your bruschetta.
These are the tips that you need, and then how to prep, and then there's tips along with that as well. So it's quite in depth. Dorothy spends hours on these each week. So you don't have to spend this much time, but this is what a professional one looks like.
Yes.
This is a week in advance. I really like this one because you can print this off and put it on your fridge, and it has everything broken down. Breakfast, your morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, supper, and then there's another snack after that. So you can see if the kids are like, what's going to be on the menu, or what are we having tonight, or what happened.
Go to the fridge and look. Right? Like if you have it on your fridge, you don't even have to answer that question because it's already on the fridge.
That's right. And then this sixth slide. Oh, so this is an idea of what like our day one would be like. So we talked about apple cinnamon oatmeal. We always suggest green tea for anti-inflammatory purposes, antioxidant purposes, give you a little boost of energy. Fermented drink is something that we always consume or recommend in the mornings. Smoothie. And then Dorothy, for dinner, so on Sunday, the dinner would have been chicken, roasted veggies, and quinoa. So as you guys can see it here on the screen, we have it again for lunch.
So every time, that's another tip to make your lunches easier in a meal plan, is you don't have to plan another meal for lunch. Just make extra supper time, and your supper becomes your lunch the next day, so that you're not even planning lunches. You're just planning the supper, and you're getting 2 meals out of it. You're getting your supper and then your lunch.
Right. And then, well, this is the same thing here. This is just the last slide of what I took out of. I just took some screenshots from Dorothy's meal plans. So that's just a quick overview. It does take some time to plan, and it does take some effort. And Dorothy's much quicker at it now. When we were first starting out, it would take Dorothy like 4 days to make one. And I'm like, why don't you just, make it easier, copy some of the other ones? And she's like, no, they all have to be very particular. So we've been doing this for years now, and we must have hundreds of meal plans.
Oh, yeah. We have tons of meal plans. But it's funny, when I first started meal planning, I did it on chart paper, like big chart paper that, you would find at school. And I'd sit on the floor with my marker and my chart paper, and I would write, chart it out. Make a chart. But then you'll notice that yourself, the more you are doing it, the more efficient you will become. So it might start out that it takes an hour, but then in a month or a couple months, you might be done in 15 minutes, right? To plan. Yeah. So you will become, the first time might be a little painful, but you just got to work through the growing pains.
And it takes some time. It takes some practice. So you need to practice, need to work on it. And the benefits are really endless. So if you take some time to put in that effort, you're really going to appreciate it. This is one of our products that we do have. This is kind of a cool gift that we had our graphics guy put together for us. It's just called Nutritionize Your Body, nutritionize.trueformlife.com. Again, Instagrammers, I'm pulling this up on Facebook, facebook.com/trueformlife. And we offer this as a service, or I suppose product, because for $29 a month, we send out a month in advance. So it's your grocery shopping list, recipes, week in advance, everything that you just saw. It's only $30 a month, which is super cheap to get everything that you need in your grocery list.
Yeah, so for $30 a month, that package we just showed you and just talked about, you'll get one of those every week. So you get 4 of those a month. So for $30.
That's a bit different than that's a standalone product. So
Yeah.
we don't offer a group or support. Those of you that are interested in our monthly membership, we can put the link in the comments here below. But that's a bit different. So our monthly membership is where we design meal plans every week. So Dorothy sends those out Friday morning. Our members go grocery shopping Friday. Right, Friday?
Yeah, Friday you go Friday you get the meal plan, you take a look at it. And then some of our members like to shop on a Friday, which you can do, but we suggest shopping on a Saturday or something when you have a little bit more time, and then you prep on a Sunday. Now we know that doesn't fit into everybody's schedule, so some people like to do it on their own days, but just making sure that you take that time to split it up. If you try to read the meal plan and then you try to grocery shop, then you try to prep on the same day, way too much. You gotta break it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And then again, that's something that we offer in our monthly membership group. So that support really means a lot. So if someone asks a question, like if we post the meal plan, someone's like, how do I prepare this recipe? Or maybe where is the recipe? Or how did you do with baking? Like that, having that support and having the ability to answer questions or ask questions, it really makes a big difference. So if you I would suggest find a meal plan. If you're not, create it yourself. If you don't have the time or you don't want to make the time, find a professional to make one, and then find some type of support, because you could probably go and download a meal plan off the internet. And if that's what you need to do, then do that. But it's quite difficult when it's not customized and you have no support. You're like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest compliments we get is, I can't believe how much, well, two things. I can't believe how easy it is to prepare these meals that you guys put together. And that's that was something that we needed to do. That was the whole basis around making meal plans, the easy to prepare foods, because many times you look at a recipe, you look at a meal plan, and then you look and you're like, I don't even know what this ingredient is.
You go to the grocery store and you need ingredients you don't even know, and then spices that you've never used before, and that costs a bunch of money.
And you only use it once.
And you use it once.
And you're like, what am I going to use this for? May just jumped on here on Instagram. Good morning, May.
Hey, May.
And then May was actually in our CTP group as well. So, and then the other thing is how much money that you save by creating a meal plan. And I think many times we don't really know what to purchase or what to buy. So we just guess. So we run to the grocery store, we guess all this food, and we buy a bunch of stuff, and we bring it home, or we don't have any idea how to prepare it.
How to make it. That's right.
So it goes bad in the fridge, and you're wasting money.
You're wasting money.
So if you have someone to prepare meal plans for you, or if you're doing it yourself, you're going to save a ton of money. And that was one of the biggest compliments we got from our monthly membership. Yeah. And our members say, I can't believe how
easy it is.
Well, how easy it is, but actually how much money we're saving by using these meal plans, because nothing goes to waste, and all the food that we buy, you
eat up. That's right. Well, I would like to keep getting more in depth about meal planning. So I think what we'll have to do, Drew, is we'll have to talk about this again next week.
Well, we can do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2, because we talked today about your supper meals and that's where you want to start. If you're just doing meal planning for the very first time on your own, then you want to start slow. You don't want to plan out every meal every day when you're just starting out. So you'll want to start with your biggest meal of the day, which is supper, and just planning out your 7 suppers for the week. And always take a grocery list with you to the grocery store.
Stick to the list.
And stick to the list. And
those suppers become lunches.
Your suppers become your lunches.
You're actually saving time in the kitchen by preparing extra food to bring with you.
Yeah. And a little tip for your grocery list, because sometimes I know I felt like this too. Like I would just be running around the grocery store. Like I don't know what kind of animal. So a tip for your groceries list is to put it into categories. Produce, and then protein, like your meat section. And we don't have a lot of dairy or anything in our meal plans, but if you purchase dairy, you can have a dairy section, and then that helps you so that when you're in the produce section, you have everything you need right there. You're not like, okay, bananas, and then okay, chicken, and then back to tomatoes, right? So that it's organized, and you get through the grocery store efficiently. Because a lot of times at the grocery store, it's not fun, right?
And I think another grocery store tip. Maybe we'll probably have to do a whole show on grocery
store tips.
But if you know, like, go to the same grocery store on a regular basis, because then you get to know where your products are. Because if you go to a grocery store that you're not used to, we all know what it's like. You kind of like wandering around, and that's you like bounce back and forth. And then I always ask someone, they send me over here, and I was over there. So it can get frustrating, and I think that's a big challenge when it comes to grocery shopping. Yeah. I did a show on exploring mind and body not too long ago, and I can put that link in the comments so you can. It says 5 tips to
be efficient in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice moves.
Yeah. We do have to wrap things up for today, but next week, Drew, let's continue this topic of meal planning.
Okay. We'll do part 2 next week.
We'll do part 2 next week so we can talk a little bit more about this topic. And if you have questions about meal planning, let us know.
Yeah, we'll be here every Friday morning live. That's 7:30 Mountain Time, 9:30 Eastern Time. So if you want to check us out again, we'll be here.
Have a great day, Chantal.
Thanks so much. Chantal was here from the beginning and now till the end. Thank you so much,
Chantal.
Everyone else, thank you so much. We so much appreciate your support online through social media, your likes, comments, shares. It really means a lot to us. Our monthly members that are tuning in, we wouldn't have a group without you. And have a great weekend. And go Spurs.
Oh, dear.
Everyone's talking about hockey highlights up in Canada, hockey playoffs, and I'm like, what about basketball playoffs? All right, guys. Take care.
See you guys.
Oh, where is the...
Oh, dear. We're hanging on here.
Where's the finish?
Oh, there it is. Bye, guys.
See ya.